Welcome champs to English ka Potli and I am Abhijit. Today I am going to give you the workbook answers of Julius Caesar Act 1 Scene 3 and this is the part 1 of the video and part 2 of the video I will upload after this video. ठीक है, आज हम क्या करेंगे? आज जो वर्कबुक का आंसर्स है जूलियस सीजर का एक्ट 1 सीन 3 का आंसर्स आज हम लोग को डिस्कस करेंगे. चलो चैम शुरू करते हैं. दिस इज द एक्सट्रैक्ट नंबर 1, कैस्का स्पीच. Are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? O Cicero, I have seen tempest when the scolding winds have revived the naughty oaks. I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam, to be exalted with the threatening clouds, but never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. तो ये कहां पर है? These are taken from line 1, 3 to 10. ओके, 3 से 4 10 तक का लाइन से दिस इज एंड दिस इज अ कैस्का स्पीच. तो चैम्स देखो, पहला क्वेश्चन क्या आ रहा है कि वेयर इज कैस्का एट दिस टाइम. इस समय में कैस्का कहां पर है? तो इसका आंसर है एट दिस टाइम कैस्का इज ऑन अ स्ट्रीट इन रोम. तो कैस्का इस समय में रोम का एक स्ट्रीट में है. उसका बाद इन व्हाट स्टेट हैज ही कम हियर देयर. तो टू हुम इज ही स्पीकिंग, और किससे बात कर रहे हैं? तो देखिए, ही हैज कम इन ए टेरिफाइड स्टेट सो दैट ही लुक्स लाइक अ मैड पर्सन. एक पागल व्यक्ति का जैसा दिख रहे थे. द अननेचुरल इवेंट्स ही हैज सीन एंड द टेरेबल स्टॉर्म दैट हैज ब्रोकन आउट हैव अनर्व्ड हिम एंड ड्रिवन हिम आउट ऑफ हिज विट्स एज ही फील्स some unknown evil or dreadful event is about to happen. He is speaking to Cicero, a great orator and senator of Rome. तो चलो सेकेंड क्वेश्चन में चलते हैं. Give the meaning of the following. All the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm. इसका मतलब क्या है? The given expression spoken by Caxius means that the entire earth that has its normal steady settled motion seems to shake like an unsteady unsettled object. The violent storm has made everything terrible in such a way that it seems to be a doomsday. Okay, चलो इसका जो second part of the question को क्या है? The ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam, okay, to be exalted with their threatening clouds. इसका मतलब है Casca speaks these two lines in order to give further detail of the storm. He describes the storm as a battle between the sea and the sky. The violent sea is compared to as an infuriated person. Violent sea को infuriated person का साथ compare किया जा रहा है. Raging and foaming at the mouth, with his chest swollen with anger and indignation, and wanting to strike at his enemy, who too in his fury is threatening to strike back at his opponent. The sea has become so violent that she seems to be wanting with her foaming and huge swelling waves or surges to rise up and strike at the raging sky, which in turn is as if threatening the sea with its thunder and lightning. Okay, chalo. Now what are the scolding winds? What did they do? Scolding winds का मतलब क्या है? Scolding winds are the violent winds that blow during a storm. As they rage through forested regions, they produce a screaming sound. जब ये wind कोई भी forested region की तरफ बहते हैं, means they make a very screaming sound as if somebody is crying, as if somebody is scolding or rebuking angrily. These scolding winds revived the naughty oaks, that is split into two, even the naughty oaks that cannot normally be split. जो oaks को कभी split नहीं किया जा सकता, उसको भी split कर दिए है. Such was the fury and the force of the wind. So this is the fury and this is the force of the wind. What did Casca see which he had never seen in his earlier life? What Casca saw that night never seen in his life earlier was a tempest dropping fire. तो कैस्का ने उस दिन क्या देखा था? एक ऐसा तूफान था जिस तूफान से आग निकल रहा था. That is a storm raining down lightning and thunderbolts. This might have caused fires all around, so that it seemed as if the tempest was dropping fire. Now this is the fifth question. What does he conclude immediately after the extract about the calamities? Cassius ये सब calamities का बारे में क्या opinion देते हैं just after this extract? Immediately after the extract, Cassius concludes from the calamities witnessed and experienced that either there is a civil strife in heaven, हो सकता है कि heaven में कोई भी एक civil war हो रहा है between the gods, or the world, meaning the humans, being too saucy means insolent with the gods, incenses means provokes them to send down destruction means God नाराज हो गए हैं and इस नाराजगी कारण human beings को destroy करना चाहते हैं. Just as the twin cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed with fire and brimstones that fell from heaven as mentioned in the Old Testament. तो ये जो ब्रैकेट का पोर्शन है इसको आप नहीं भी लिख सकते, no problem. Now, what is the next day? Why will it be a fatal day? Who had warned about that day? The next day is the Ides of March, the day on which Caesar is to be crowned and also the day on which the conspirators plan to murder Caesar. तो next day क्या था? Next day आपका Ides of March है, that is the 15th of March. And conspirators plan to murder Caesar. It will be a fatal day because that is the day on which the conspirators led by Brutus and Cassius will assassinate Caesar in order to prevent him from being crowned the king of Rome, and that way put an end to Caesar's ambition. In Act 1, Scene 2, when Caesar was on his way to the games on the feast of Lupercal, the soothsayer warned him about the day, telling him, beware the Ides of March. तो ये सब चैम्प्स आप लोगों ने पढ़े होंगे Act 1, Scene 2 में. अगर आप लोगों ने इसको नहीं देखे तो मेरा वीडियो है, you can go and watch, okay? रिवीजन हो जाएगा. चलो चैम्प्स, this is the question number, extract number 2, question number 2, Cicero. Why? Saw you anything more wonderful? This is the Cicero speech. Now Casca, a common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. तो जो हाथ था वो जल नहीं रहा था. This is line 14 to 18 in the book. It is there. Narrate in your own words the wonderful sight seen by Casca as given in the extract. Okay, chalo. The wonderful sight seen by Casca is about a common slave who can be easily recognized by sight, means anybody can recognize him, probably from his clothing as well as from other signs of slavery. This ordinary low-class slave seemed to perform something extraordinary. He held aloof his left hand, which was burning furiously as if 20 torches were being burned together. ऐसा लग रहा था कि मानो 20 टॉर्च जल रहा है, despite the raging flames mysteriously, and the slave's hand did not feel the normal scorching heat of the flames. In fact, his hands remained completely unaffected. तो ये सीन कैस्का ने देखा है. तो चलो, second question है, beside the sight mentioned in State 3, unnatural sights, Casca narrates after this extract. तो इस extract का बाद Casca और भी जो 3 unnatural sights देखे थे उसका बारे में narrate कीजिए. Casca recounts how beside the Capitol he met a lion, the sight of whom made him, means Casca, feel so terrified that he drew his sword as if in self-defense. तो वो lion को देखे थे कहां पर? Capitol में. और कैपिटॉल में देख के लायन को ये बहुत ही डर गए थे और अपना जो स्वॉर्ड था, तलवार जो था, उसे निकाल लिए थे जस्ट फॉर सेल्फ डिफेंस. इनफैक्ट ही हैजंट येट पुट अवे द स्वॉर्ड आफ्टर दैट एक्सपीरियंस. उसका बाद से वो स्वॉर्ड को सीथ है उनका अंदर नहीं घुसाए थे. He has not kept that one. He has already drawn the sword. बट स्ट्रेंजली दिस लायन merely glared at him. तो यहां पर अननेचुरल बात जो है, जो स्ट्रेंज थिंग जो था, दिस लायन merely glared at him and went by surly angry without harming him in any way. Next he saw over 100 ghastly, means terrified, looking like ghosts from fright, women huddled in a group, means all the women they are huddled, means they are just packed in a group, and utterly transformed by fear they swore that they had seen men completely enveloped in fire walking up and down the streets, and they too were unharmed by the flames. और क्या देखे इन्होंने, जो वुमेन, उन्होंने क्या देखा, दे आर वेरी टेरिफाइड एंड दे हैव सीन कि बहुत सारा जो आदमी था ऐसा पूरा आग से पूरा घिरा हुआ था, मीन्स द कंप्लीट बॉडी वॉज इन फायर, माने पूरा शरीर आग से भरा हुआ था, और क्या कर रहे थे, वॉकिंग अप एंड डाउन, तो रास्ते का ऊपर नीचे चल रहे थे. ओके, लेकिन उन लोगों को जल नहीं रहा था, मीन्स नॉट द ह्यूमन, they were not being scorched. Thirdly, the previous day he saw an owl which is a bird of night. तो आप लोगों को चैम्स पता ही होगा कि आउल जो उल्लू होता है ये रात का समय में दिखता है हमें. दिन का समय में उल्लू दिखना, इट्स नेक्स्ट टू मन से ये क्वाइट स्ट्रेंज थिंग है. तो यहां पर क्या हुआ, थर्ड जो इंसिडेंट कैस्का ने देखा कि उन्होंने उल्लू देखा. ही सॉ एन आउल विच इज द बर्ड ऑफ नाइट सिटिंग एट द मार्केट प्लेस इवन एट मिड डे हूटिंग एंड श्रीकिंग. तो मार्केट प्लेस में मिड डे में दोपहर का समय में उल्लू दिखता है. तो दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी स्ट्रेंज, ये क्वाइट अननेचुरल. चलो थर्ड क्वेश्चन का तरफ चलते हैं. क्या है चैम्स? ओके चलो. व्हाट डज कैस्का बिलीव अबाउट अननेचुरल इवेंट्स? कैस्का, इसका आंसर है कैस्का बिलीव्स दैट दीज अननेचुरल इवेंट्स आर पोर्टेंटस थिंग्स, which means something bad is going to happen. Omens that prophesy future impending disaster, मतलब फ्यूचर में कुछ भी खराब होने वाला है. For the climate means country region at which they are directed. Okay, चलो फोर्थ क्वेश्चन का तरफ हम लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं. How is Casca's belief a contrast to the one expressed by Cicero about these events? Casca's belief is a contrast to one expressed by Cicero. About the stormy night, Cicero says, देखो इन दोनों का जो विचार में थोड़ा अंतर था. तो कैस्का जो जिस तरह से एक्सप्रेस किया था इस स्टॉर्म का बारे में, और सिजेरो का जो एक्सप्रेशन ये थोड़ा अलग है. सिजेरो कह रहा है, says he has not seen anything more wonderful. A little later, as if to pacify Casca, माने कैस्का को जो डर को थोड़ा घटाना चाहते थे, he says it is indeed a time when strange things are happening. Yes, इस समय में कुछ ना कुछ अजीबो गरीब घटनाएं हो रहा था. बट ही emphasizes that each man may construe, means each man they may interpret, means अलग अलग घटना का एक एक आदमी का पास अलग अलग विचार है. they are having different opinions. Such strange events after their fashion, means according to their own mental makeup or nature to suit themselves, means human beings हर चीज का अलग विश्लेषण देते हैं, means they give a different analysis. सभी अलग अलग एनालिसिस देते हैं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द मेंटल मेकअप और नेचर टू सूट देमसेल्व्स. बट ऑफन सच इंटरप्रिटेशंस आर कंप्लीटली कॉन्ट्ररी टू और डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द रियल नेचर. कभी कभी ये रियल नेचर से इसका जो विश्लेषण दिया जाता है, व्हिच व्हाटएवर द एनालिसिस इज गिवन, तो वो कभी कभी डिफरेंट भी होता है रियल नेचर से ऑफ द थिंग्स देमसेल्व्स. बाय दिस वर्ड्स ही इंप्लाइज दैट व्हाइल कैस्का इज हॉरिफाइड एट सच इवेंट्स, looking at them as omens and portents for him, they are marvelous events and he is thrilled at witnessing them. तो इन्होंने कहा कि सिजरो ने कहा कि ये सब मार्वेलस इवेंट्स है, और इस तरह का इवेंट्स देख के ही इज वेरी हैप्पी और उन्हें इज वेरी थ्रिल्ड बाय सीइंग ऑल दिस इवेंट्स. देखिए यहां पर थ्रिल्ड. ओके कम ऑन. फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन का तरफ हम लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं. ओके, व्हाट इंपैक्ट डू दिस स्ट्रेंज थिंग्स हैव ऑन सीजर? सीजर के ऊपर क्या इंपैक्ट हुआ था, as well as on the audience. The impact of these strange things on Caesar is seen in Act 2 Scene 2. Act 2 Scene 2 में Caesar का जो ये सब घटनाएं का बारे में, मीन्स ये जो strange things जो हुआ था उस सब का बारे में Caesar का क्या सोच है, क्या बिलीफ है, हम लोगों ने Act 2 Scene 2 में उसको पढ़ेंगे. As the roar of thunder and flash of lightning indicate a stormy night, Caesar enters in his night gown. सीजर क्या करते हैं, अपना जो नाइट गाउन पहन के घुसते हैं. He is clearly terrified at the unnatural event, is very much afraid of all this unnatural event. He admits neither heaven nor earth has been at peace that night. तो उन्होंने कहा कि कोई भी पीस नहीं है, ना अर्थ पीस में है या हेवन भी पीस में नहीं है. He then recounts how his wife Kalpurnia had screamed out in his sleep that Caesar was being murdered. तो ये तो सच बात है. He is so unnerved by this development that he even orders his servant to hasten to the temple. Okay. उन्होंने सर्वेंट को ऑर्डर देते हैं कि टेंपल के जाने के लिए, and ask the priest to perform an immediate sacrifice of an animal and bring back the opinion of the priest on the basis of what they find inside the animal. तो एनिमल का सैक्रिफाइस का बाद ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द एनिमल क्या होने वाला है, तो जो प्रीस्ट है वो डायरेक्शंस भेजेंगे. द इम्पैक्ट ऑन द ऑडियंस विल डिपेंड ऑन द टाइप ऑफ ऑडियंस. इफ दे आर लाइक कैस्का, दे विल बी एज टेरिफाइड एज कैस्का हिमसेल्फ, viewing this unnatural events as portents foreboding some terrible disaster. But if they are intellectually enlightened, अगर सीजरों का जैसा सभी enlightened है, means if they are having proper knowledge, तो सीजरों का जैसा behave करेंगे, excited at rather than intimidated by these events, rather than intimidated. तो इस तरह के event से किसी का कोई intimidate नहीं होंगे. Now this is the extract 3. ठीक है, question number 3. Cassius' speech is there. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man. अभी मैं आपको एक man का बारे में बता सकता हूं. Most like this dreadful night, very much similar to this dreadful night, this dangerous night, that thunders, lightens, open graves and roars, as doth the lion in the Capitol. A man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yes, prodigious grown and fearful as these strange eruptions are. So where you will find these lines? These lines are in 72 to 78. Who is the man most like this dreadful night? Why does Cassius speak of the man by comparing him to the lion? Okay, come on champs. The man most like this dreadful night is कौन है भाई? Caesar. The lion near the Capitol had glared at Casca and passed by angrily without harming him. This sight so terrified him that he had drawn his sword and was still holding it even when entering the stage. Cassius compares Caesar to this lion. Okay, Cassius Caesar को इस lion का साथ compare करते हैं to prove Casca that similar is the terror instilled in the hearts and minds of the Roman people by Caesar. Therefore, Caesar is as dangerous as the lion itself. Okay, champs. Chalo, the second question. How does Cassius describe the night? What does he say he has done on such a night? Cassius described the night as a very pleasing night. तो Cassius बोलते हैं कि बहुत ही pleasing night है to honest men like himself. He describes how he has walked about the streets. उन्होंने कहते हैं कि मैं इस night में I have completely freely I have walked about on the street. Okay, exposing himself to the dangers of the night. Okay, he has exposed himself to the dangers of the night with his doublet unbraced. He has bared his bosom chest, okay, to the thunderbolt. तो उसने क्या किया, अपना जो डबलेट को खोल दिया, अपना जो शर्ट है या क्लोक है उसे खोल देते हैं, और he has just exposed his chest in front of the thunderbolt. Even the cross-forked blue lightning that seemed to light up the breast of heaven did not terrify him. तो ये lightning से थोड़ा भी डरते नहीं है. Instead he placed himself in the very path of it. और क्या करते हैं कि lightning का पूरा path का सामने में खड़े रहते हैं so that lightning may fall on him. Now come on, this is the third question. State in your own words how Cassius accuses Casca of having a weak human nature. Cassius accuses Casca of being a weak human, a dullard who either lacks those sparks of life, means courage in the face of dangers, that should be found in a Roman, who never feels intimidated, or if he has them, does not use of them. अगर उसमें ये qualities है भी, शायद वो qualities को use नहीं करते हैं. It is indeed amazing to see Casca turn pale and gaze and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder, become terror-stricken at seeing the strange, unnatural impatience, restlessness of the heavens. Okay, come on, fourth question का तरफ चलते हैं हम लोग कौन. How does Cassius interpret the unnatural occurrence in nature? According to Cassius, if they were to consider carefully the real cause of all those unnatural occurrences in nature, they would find that heaven, means God, has instilled into them such powers in order to make them instruments of fear. Okay, instruments का मतलब agents of fear and warning about some monstrous, means about some unnatural state, means of affairs that might affect the country very soon. ये क्या है ना, नेचर का इस तरह का अननेचुरल हैपनिंग्स होता है नेचर में, जस्ट टू गिव अ इंफॉर्मेशन कि इन फ्यूचर इससे भी कुछ भी बुरा होने वाला है. ओके चैम्स, चलो लेट अस गो टू द फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन. गिव द मीनिंग ऑफ इन पर्सनल एक्शन येट prodigious groan and fearful as these strange eruptions are. तो चैम्स देखो इसका क्या लाइन का मीनिंग है. दिस लाइन्स आर स्पोकन by Cassius to prove that Caesar is just an ordinary person, though he pretends to be so great and powerful. Cassius ये बताना चाहते हैं कि सीजर बहुत ही ऑर्डिनरी है, लेकिन फिर भी अपने आप को दिखाना चाहते हैं कि बहुत ग्रेट है और पावरफुल है. He explains that in personal action, Caesar is in no way exceptional. Caesar बाकी सभी से कुछ अलग नहीं है, कुछ एक्सेप्शनल नहीं है, but merely a common character, साधारण कैरेक्टर है. Although he seems to have become a monster, as threatening and dangerous as strange outbreaks in nature, they have all seen. Okay, chalo. Now let us go to the sixth question. Describe two incidents given by Cassius earlier in the play to show that man referred to in the extract was no mightier than thyself or me. Chalo. To indicate that Caesar was as weak as any human being and so no mightier than thyself or me, Cassius had in Act 1 Scene 2 related two incidents. Act 1 Scene 2 में दो इंसिडेंट का बारे में आप लोगों ने पढ़े ही होंगे. अगर नहीं पढ़ा है तो मेरा वीडियो है चैम्स, यू विल एंजॉय दैट वीडियो एंड यू विल लर्न एवरीथिंग. भाई मजे आएगा, मेरा वीडियो देखा कीजिए. The first was about how once on a raw and gusty day, when the troubled Tiber was chafing with her shores, Caesar had challenged him to leap into the angry flood. तो Caesar Cassius को एक दिन चैलेंज करते हैं कि चलो भाई अभी टाइबर मतलब रिवर है उसमें कूद जाते हैं, जब पूरा रिवर भरा हुआ है पानी में और बहुत जोरों का तूफान था. And swim to yonder point. Accordingly, fully dressed as he was, he plunged in. Who was fully dressed? Cassius. Cassius river में नदी में कूद जाते हैं. And Caesar close at his heels. They fought bravely against the violent waves, but before reaching the point proposed, Caesar started screaming for help. तो पॉइंट को उस जगह में पहुंचने का पहले ही Caesar हेल्प के लिए चीखते हैं. As he was drowning, and Cassius had to carry on his shoulders the tired Caesar from the waves of the Tiber. Cassius then described how Caesar once had a fever when he was in Spain. Okay, जब वो स्पेन में थे. During that fit, means during that fever, Caesar started shaking violently and the color vanished from his covered lips. Even his terror-inspiring eyes lost their luster, means lost that shine. He started to groan and cried out helplessly as a sick girl begging, Titanius, give me some drink. Okay champs, आज इतना दूरी. ये तीनों एक्सट्रैक्ट को अच्छी तरह से कीजिए, सॉल्व कीजिए और मेरा वीडियो को देखिए, सजेशंस लीजिए और खुद से भी लिखने का कोशिश कीजिए. ओके, ये कोई श्योरिटी नहीं है कि आपका एग्जाम में यही एक्सट्रैक्ट्स आएगा. यू रीड द टेक्स्ट वेरी प्रॉपरली. ओके, गो थ्रू द मीनिंग्स. भाई अपना जो पिता माता है, मदर फादर है, उन लोगों का बात सुना कीजिए. और मुझे ना बहुत ज्यादा यकीन है कि आप लोगों सही में कुछ ना कुछ करेंगे एंड ऑल ऑफ यू विल बी सक्सेसफुल। मैं चाहता हूं कि आप लोगों दुनिया में सक्सेसफुल रहे। सभी का इच्छा होता है, सब पेरेंट्स का इच्छा होता है कि उन लोगों का बेटा या बेटी एकदम सक्सेस पर रहे एंड दे शुड रीच अप टू द पिनक्कल ऑफ सक्सेस। ओके चैम्स, बाय टू ऑल ऑफ यू। ओके बाय।